Welcome to Unchained here on Pahrump News. I'm your host, Deanna O'Donnell. I hope you're having a wonderful night tonight. Well, we want to talk a little bit about some of the Halloween events. I know that we had numerous ones throughout our town, but we handled the spook-eye event, and that's in the Calvada Eye. We've been doing that for a number of years now, along with the Rotary Club, and I want to thank them for helping us out again on that event, and also want to thank Valley Electric Association for not only participating, but also providing those lights so that we could have a safe night out. And all the people who participated, of course, in that trunk or treat event. It was so much fun. We handed out so much candy and just a fabulous time. If you want to find out more about it, of course, next year we'll be posting again about the Spooky Eye event in the Calvada Eye. It is free to participate, except for that candy, of course, but we have so much fun down there. And we do have a special guest that is on our show tonight. And when we return from this break, we're going to speak to Fred Conboy from the Amargosa Opera House. Sponsored by 1-2-Tree, handyman, yard cleanup, yard maintenance, and so much more. Give them a call at 775-253-8066. We will leave you with a smile. All right, I'm here with my guest, Fred Conboy from the Amargosa Opera House. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thanks so much for inviting me, Deanna.
Yeah. So the Amargosa Opera House, you have had, a while going through some things, some changes there. You had a performer not that long ago, but you had some performances just this weekend, but also some flooding damage. Tell us what's going on.
Well, as you may know, Marta Beckett, who lived at the Death Valley Junction for almost 50 years, regularly had floods. She just had to deal with that. Mm-hmm. And they're unexpected, and when they do happen, they're severe.
Because you guys are kind of on a grade right down to that Death Valley Junction, aren't you? Where
the
water goes.
We are, and the ground is hard and unforgiving, and when it rains, it doesn't get soaked up. It rises and goes above the sidewalk and flows into both the hotel and the Opera House. And so very recently we had a flash flood, a monsoonal flood, that completely saturated the Opera House floor. We had about 5-6 inches of water and mud covering every square inch. It came from the side door, the front door, the east side. And we spent, almost 3 or 4 weeks cleaning up to get ready for a show that we had promised the performers about 9 months ago. Yeah. So we really busted ass to get it all cleaned up, and we got some brand new floorboards. We're still doing some final work, but fortunately the good news is we had 2 wonderful performances on Halloween and November 1st.
And then that floor, what we're talking about, and we're going to show some pictures of the Opera House, but is just small little floorboards that is built on pretty much dirt.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's on a wooden frame, but underneath that, just a few inches, is dirt.
Yeah, and the Opera House, sits right on that, right on the junction. A lot of the water comes up to that one wall, but this time it went all the way around. How much damage did you have to those walls?
Well, the good news is that none of the murals that Marta painted back from 1968 to 74, those astonishingly beautiful murals, were damaged at all. It really was just the baseboards. And that hall was built over 100 years ago, and it is made of adobe. It used to be the social hall, called Corkle Social Hall, before Marta discovered it. And so you have these beautiful paintings that were painted with casein paint. Casein is a milk-based paint, but it's on adobe, which expands and contracts with the hot and the cold of the desert. And so you do have a little bit of chipping here and there, but because there's no ultraviolet light in the Opera House, mm-hmm. those images are just as bright and vibrant as the day she painted them.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like nothing you've ever seen.
And it's such an intimate theater. There's 110 seats. You don't really need to be amped in there. You can talk on the stage and be heard in the back row. And so it's just a magic experience to be in the theater. But when you have the floorboards damaged as it were, it wasn't safe to walk on them because they were badly warped and buckled. And it wasn't very much long ago, about a year and a half ago, that we had flooding inside the Amargosa Hotel, which is down the other side of the complex. And all of those rooms on the colonnade side, you remember those, Deanna, with the beautiful Spanish revival colonnades, all the water came in and flooded out all of those hotel rooms. So we had to replace all the carpeting and padding in there.
It's amazing what the Opera House has been through. You know, I was lucky enough to see Marta perform on stage, but also to give her an Act of Kindness Award, to interview her extensively, to go to her birthday, and then Jenna McClintock came after that and performed on stage for a few years, right?
Jenna McClintock was arguably the best dancer that's ever been on Marta's stage next to Marta. I would have to say that.
Yeah.
Out of respect for
Right,
Marta. But and Jenna was really Marta's protege. Marta taught her a lot of the original choreographies that Marta had brought with her from New York when she came out in 1968. And so Jenna had studied under Marta. Marta was her tutor, and she was perfecting these. I think Jenna returned to her home in Oakland, but my hat goes off to Jenna, because truly she was as close to Marta Beckett as you could get without being Marta Beckett.
Yeah. And Marta, if you know the history of the Opera House, had a flat tire in that junction.
That's right.
Decided that this was her calling here, and spent her whole life and everything fixing up the Opera House, performing at the Opera House, everything. I mean,
well, she had a flat tire. With her and her husband were heading out to L.A., but got a flat tire in the park and brought their car up. And while that flat was being fixed, Marta looked through the chink in the door of the old social hall, and she saw the blank walls, but she also saw a shaft of light that hit a doll's head. And in that moment, she had an epiphany that this was the fulfillment of her destiny. She said there was a fortune teller that in New York had told her, Marta, you will move to a very remote rural location and have the happiest time of your whole life.
And she did.
And she
really
ran back to the garage and said, Tom, her husband, come see this. So she decided in a heartbeat, this was her fate, this was her destiny. And so she did. The next year, 1968, she moved to Death Valley Junction and rented the Opera House for $40 a month.
And we were lucky enough to have Marta in our lives. You know, I gotta say, I'm so happy that you guys are doing performances there again, because being able to rent it out and to have people use that hall is so important, isn't it?
It really is, because that's how her legacy is really going to stay alive. You know, if new performers and new patrons spark to Marta Beckett, her energy, her inspiration, her art. She was a ballerina. She was also a painter. She composed piano music. She made her own costumes, her own backdrops, all her own props. Who does this?
Painted that whole place.
In 6 years, 4 years to paint the walls, and 2 years to paint the ceiling with the cherubs and the four winds and the classical musicians. So, yeah, it's a miracle. But that's the goal. Is she has this nonprofit that she set up in 1973 to preserve her artistic legacy, and fortunately I've been a volunteer in that effort now for 25 years.
Fantastic.
So
and
it's a labor of love.
It really is, just like Marta's labor of love, because man, was she motivated to continue with that Opera House, and we're lucky enough to have volunteers like yourself still continuing in that mission and that love. What's your guys' goal for controlling the flooding? Are you looking for permanent solutions in this?
Yes, I think right now that we see that we can't keep just repairing the floorboards year after year, monsoon after monsoon. So we're trying now to research what is the best, using engineers to study what is the best solution for this. Some people have said you need a big French drain and a culvert. Water should never rise that high. It should just drain down and out and over across the road or down the street past around the cafe.
Yeah.
So we're looking into doing some more. We're researching what is the best solution because the Highway 127 sits kind of high, so the water rolls off of that highway. We can't change the highway, but we need to change what's around it. Oh. Water comes from the direction of Highway 190 from behind through the old cottages, but it also comes in from the east off of the road and from the front in the driveway. So yes, the goal is to have a drain of some kind to prevent water from even rising up so high that it even can go into the Opera House. So I guess you call it a water diversion or a water mitigation plan, but that's...
You definitely need that. And also the drivers need to not run into the side of the Opera House as well.
You're talking about Madame Butterfly. There was a drunk teenager years ago that crashed, that ran a stop sign and destroyed the mural that was on the other wall, which was Madame Butterfly. Now, I want to do a shout out to Sandy Scheller, because my friend and fellow board member took it upon herself to reproduce an image of Madame Butterfly beautifully, I might say. It's a great reproduction. And now we have restored Madame Butterfly to the Opera House.
Good.
And while I'm on the topic, and then I just wanted to mention that our 58th anniversary show is going to be a tribute to Marta's opera murals.
Wonderful.
So you've got Madame Butterfly, Boris Godunov, Carmen, the original bad girl. You got Pagliacci. You've got Aida, Siegfried in the Ring trilogy, and then Les Sylphides. And so we're going to have the Las Vegas opera come in and do arias and scenes from each of those operas. And then that's going to be performed to the classical music performed by Jeremy Favreau from Los Angeles. So
when is that?
That's on Valentine's Day in February.
We're celebrating Marta's birthday, right?
February. That's exact. Well, it's her anniversary. Her birthday's in August 9th, but this is her 58th anniversary. So, announcement of that will come out soon after the first of the year. And to get on the mailing list, you can sign up on our website, which is amargosaoperahouse.org. That's amargosaoperahouse.org. And if you scroll to the bottom, you'll see a place to put your email in. And so you'll get an announcement, but we welcome everybody to come. We'll have two performances at 2 p.m. to make it easy on those people that don't do the nighttime driving, and then we'll do an evening reception at 7. So,
how's the hotel going? Are they still booking guests all the time?
Yes, we're open. We're open all year round, 365 days.
Is the cafe doing anything?
No, unfortunately, it fell on hard times during COVID. In fact, it closed on March 1st, 2020, and has not reopened. So we sent people down to Jim Marsh's restaurant at Long Street, to Jack's restaurant.
Oh, it's a good restaurant. It's fantastic.
It is. So, and Jim Marsh has been a stalwart supporter of the Opera House. He was a great friend of Tom and Marta since the 1970s. There's a chair in the Opera House that has Jim's name on it with Armstrong Motors, the name of his dealership. So, we're indebted. We're glad our Long Street is kind of like an annex for us. Every day when guests check in, they say, where can I get a bite? And we send them 7 miles that away.
There's so much history there. Can people take tours?
Every day. We have tours at 9 a.m. in the morning and 6 p.m. in the afternoon.
Wow.
And often, just if we have advance notice, we can have a special tour if you just give us a little heads up.
And so these are every day?
Every day.
Wow, that's fantastic. So I'm super excited about that. Does everybody know where the Opera House is at?
The Opera House is at the confluence of State Line Road and Highway 127. Right. So if you take Bella Vista and you just go all the way west until you can't go any further, you'll hit the Opera House, and we're right there.
Don't hit the Opera House.
Yeah, do not hit the. And that's just about 500 feet from Highway 190, which is your entrance to Death Valley National Park.
And I got to tell you, when you sign up for the newsletter, you can also sign up as a donor and do regular donations, right? Do you have something
that's right.
that you can have recurring donations? So
we do. We on our website, we have a link to our PayPal account, and if you go there, you can make a one-time donation, or you can set it up on a monthly recurring basis.
And then volunteers.
We frequently use volunteers for all sorts of projects around the junction. It could just be something as unglamorous as helping us clean off the walk, or helping inside the hotel do handyman jobs, painting.
It'd be great if a construction company volunteered.
Yes. The adobe structures, as one would see when we were there, are crumbling in many places. Another thing we're doing is looking into getting grants to do adobe restoration, to do it that in a way that is historically accurate
Yeah.
and maintains
And-
the integrity
yeah.
of the original structures.
Yeah, you definitely want to preserve things
Yeah.
as much as you can, which is costly to do that
Well-
sometimes, but you got to do it right.
Well, we have great leadership on our board with Bobby Fabian. She was our former cafe manager, come general manager, and today we also have another Pahrumpian, Emily Brown, who is our manager. And she now, between Bobby and Emily, they have a combined almost 10 years of experience in managing day-to-day operations. So I'm really grateful for the support and service we get from those two people, because they not only have a huge heart, a big heart for the history and the history of Death Valley Junction, but they too are committed to preserving MARTA's legacy and sustaining it for the future.
All right. And so, is there any other performances coming up that you have booked right now?
I have one very intriguing performance that's coming up. We got contacted by the United States' oldest high school band.
Oh,
They've performed in every state in the Union except California. They will be coming out in March, and they will be performing in the Opera House.
fantastic.
And it is going to be a show that is free with donations requested. But I'll be in touch with you about that. We want not only high school band members from Pahrump to come, but their parents and grandparents and friends.
Great.
We think it'll be a lot of fun. It's a little different from what we usually do. But how cool would that be to have the oldest high school band in the country?
I love it. I love it.
So that'll be the next one. And then, of course, MARTA's anniversary celebration on Valentine's Day.
And then if anybody wants to find out more about performing at the Opera House, booking the Opera House, donating, which is super important, volunteering, which is super important, what do they do?
Well, there's a couple ways. If you just go to our homepage, our homepage on our website, that link is amargosaoperahouse.org. You spell Amargosa, A-M-A-R-G-O-S-A.
Don't call it Amargosa.
Yeah, it's amargosaoperahouse.org. And little history lesson, the word Amargosa is a Timbishi Shoshone word which means bitter water.
Oh, okay.
And there's a river that flows underneath the desert called the Amargosa. The town of Death Valley Junction originally was Amargosa, and then it was renamed Death Valley Junction. But back to your point, we welcome support from our friends and patrons. This flood really did a number on us. It damaged things in a way that cost us a lot of our reserve funds, so we're trying to restore that just to sustain operations. So if you want to help out, we welcome your financial support.
Now's the time.
And you could go to amargosaoperahouse.org, and you'll see a donate button there. You can learn more about what we're doing now to repair the floors. You can also learn more about MARTA and about her artistic legacy, as well as the historic hotel. So,
Yes. All right. Thanks so much for coming by, Fred. And
Deanna,
and
thank
we
you.
thank you. We thank MARTA. We thank Sandy, who got us all together, got you over here for me.
hats
And,
off to Sandy Schiller.
I love her. All right. We'll be right back. Well, I want to thank Fred for, of course, coming by tonight. When we return, we're going to have your Save a Pet. Sponsored by 1-2-Tree, handyman, yard cleanup, yard maintenance, and so much more. Give them a call at 775-253-8066. We will leave you with a smile.
Hello, I'm Olive Asherle with the Nye County Animal Shelter, and this is Archie. He's one of our senior dogs. He's 9 years old, neutered male, and this month, the month of November, is National Adopt a Senior Pet Month, and so that's why we're showcasing our seniors. Their adoption fees are waived, and we would love for you to come and meet Archie. He's a little timid, but he's friendly and a happy boy. You just need to give him a little bit of time. And you can visit him at our shelter, 1580 East Surrey Lane. And our phone number is 775-751-7020. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5. And you can call us and make an appointment if you'd like to come in on a Sunday.
Well, that's going to wrap up this edition of Unchained. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. Good night.